to another impromptu speech powered by the Ultraspeaking app. I'm Benjamin Lee. So I'm doing something a little bit different today. I am testing this out where I have been recording via my podcast with my Ultraspeaking challenge, but I want to move it over to YouTube. So I'm trying to see if this is actually recording via YouTube Live. So I'm trying to do something a little bit different here. And let's see if this is actually working here. I think it is, but I'm not for sure. So this is going to be a little clunky here to begin with, but let's see if it's working. I don't know if it is or not. It says that it is live. So it looks like it is. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. For those who are watching for the first time, thank you for your patience. I've been doing a impromptu podcast for the last 12 days using the Ultraspeaking app. And today I decided I'm going to move it over to my YouTube channel here. And moving forward, today is day 13. So I get a prompt and I'm going to speak on the fly for the next 8 minutes. And this is actually real world because when you're dealing with technology, you're dealing with things like this. You never know how it's going to work. So let's see what happens here. Here we go, day 13. I think we can all say, and I'll speak for myself, that my robot best friend definitely is my cell phone. Now, we wouldn't think so much about a piece of equipment actually being our best friend, but let's really think about what we're doing. Number one, I'm looking at my cell phone right here. I take him wherever I go for the most part. He's a part of my life in the morning, he's a part of my life in the afternoon, he's a part of my life in the evening. If you think back to some of the iconic movies like Star Wars, for example, and the robots and the technology, whether it's Star Wars or Terminator or Jarvis in Iron Man, which is one of my favorites, it's always interesting how technology can become one of our best friends. Now, I think there's a fine line that has to be made and distinguished as well, that we're not dealing with a real person or entity, but it often feels that way. So I've been playing around with Google's Gemini for a while, and that's pretty amazing technology. Well, Siri is an amazing piece of technology as well. And I think there is something for us to think about that if not careful, technology can become our best friend. What does a friend actually look like? Well, a friend makes us feel good. A friend communicates. A friend takes our time. A friend engages and captures our attention. A friend can even correct us. That's what we have with modern technology. Technology today is taking so much of our time, which it was not intentionally or originally designed to do, but it is doing that even more. I think that's a dangerous thing to think about as well. I don't want my cell phone to be my best friend. And in reality, let me amend what I just said earlier. My cell phone is not my best friend by any stretch of the imagination. But it is a great warning for us that we can spend more time with technology than we can with real life people. And I know technology offers us the connection to engage with other people, but it's never going to be the same. From sitting in front of someone, talking, seeing body language, hearing them breathe. A phone can't do that. Artificial intelligence cannot do that. The automatic vacuum can't do that. No matter how sophisticated technology becomes, it can never replace humans. We live in a world today where a lot of people have a hard time actually connecting with humans. And it's because of technology. It's because of all of the pieces of equipment, the junk that's all around us that I'm actually using for this very podcast, that often gets in the way. We live our lives through this technology. That's not the best way to live. Because in a blink of an eye, technology can cease, can stop, can be offline, can be disconnected, can have an error button. In fact, I saw that here with Riverside as I was playing around with trying to record through YouTube Live. So why do we put so much time and emphasis upon technology? I submit to you, number one, it's easy to do. Number two, it's not going to push back as a real person will. Number three, we can do it from our homes. And number four, there's a lot of fewer stakes, or it's low stakes. But that's no way to live. What we need to do is get back to the basics. We need to teach our children how to communicate. We need to teach adults how to communicate, how to get out of their homes, how to connect, how to start a conversation. This is part of the benefit of me even doing a impromptu speech on the fly. I don't know if this is live or not. It doesn't look like it's live, but doing an impromptu speech on the fly, well, it gives me the ability and capability to be able to connect with other individuals and to see what happens. We live in a world where there's so much fear of what if I mess up? What if I make a mistake? In fact, as I've thought about this Ultraspeaking project, I've only done it once, and it was actually just by accident with one of the podcasts. The AI part of Riverside told me to delete 3 seconds of one of the episodes for more clarity, and I did that. But that's not what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm not trying to have a perfect tailored message where there's no ums, ahs, or pauses. In fact, I'm pausing on purpose. But the world that we live in with technology actually tells us not to. You don't want to have a pause in a YouTube video. You want to have the perfect edit. You want to have the perfect transition. You want to have the perfect segments. That's not reality, though, folks. But it pulls us in. What we need to get back to is how to interact, how to connect, how to read body language. I have a great book, by the way, by a former FBI agent. Everybody is saying something. I think we're losing the art of even reading body language. And yes, we can be wrong about that. But we don't know how to make this connection. And it's often because of our robot best friends. So, do you have a robot best friend? Are you connected to a piece of technology more than you're connected to God or your wife or your children or your neighbors or even yourself? Why do we give so much of our data away and share ourselves with the world, yet we have a hard time actually looking inward, reflecting? I'm reading a book called Bulletproof now, which is a great book by a former CIA agent, I believe. She talks about how sometimes people have a hard time making a decision because they have so much noise from everyone else around them that they don't know how to look inward. It's like today, we don't even know how to drive from point A to point B without Waze, without Google Maps, without some kind of direction. But it wasn't that long ago, back even in 2008, and sure, it was technology, 2007 or 2008, where my wife and I, we drove out to Mount Rushmore, and I printed out about 5 to 6 pages from MapQuest, and we just had to read those pages to get there. But about 10 years before that, we had maps that you had to fold and open up in the car and look at where you were going. We've lost an art of connection and agency and confidence in ourselves because we have too many robot best friends. So if you have a best friend that is a piece of technology, today is the day to break up. Thank you. Thank you for your patience, for tuning in. I don't know if this worked or not, but I will soon find out. Talk to you later.